The Walt Disney World Galactic Star Cruiser, the Star Wars hotel in Galaxy's Edge, is canceling some of its summer 2023 voyages due to underbookings. And it looks like some of the predictions I made a little over a year ago are coming true. And I've got some more for you. Let's get into it. Renegade Online. Well, welcome back. It's another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's great to see everybody out there once again. And if you are like one of the many folks watching this video, not yet subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, turn that little red subscribe button from red to gray. Make sure you hit that notification bell, hit the like button, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment below the video before you head out the door today. Well, it looks like the Star Wars Hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser in Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World, is having more trouble. Now, the original source of this news comes from Walt Disney World News Today, and we'll leave a link to that website and that article below this video. But we're going to look at the thatparkplace.com article from our friend WDW Pro covering it as well. From January 20th, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser fails faster than Disney expected. Now, Pro takes us through the article from WDWNT, as you can see the quote and citation down there below, talking about how certain dates, key summer dates of 2023, have been basically eliminated, and they are now asking guests to reschedule those voyages. And on top of that, it looks like that they are going to offer those guests a 50% discount to go on a different date, to move their voyage. And that is simply because they did not reach enough of a capacity on those voyage dates in order to make it financially feasible to continue with those experiences. Further in Pro's TPP article here, you can see he points out a previous piece that he did back in August of 22, talking about how he thought this was going to play out. From the article, people I've spoken to say there's still no doubt that the Galactic Star Cruiser is going to have an early overhaul. According to at least one source, Disney may be padding some of their lower attended days with recipients of prizes and charitable giving. Now, that issue with capacity and pricing, and remember, this is only a 100-room hotel, is something that I talked about in a December 2021 video. Watch.
One of the things you want to do when you open up a big attraction like this is you want to get those early adopters in that are willing to go immediately and pay virtually any price to have the ability to say that they were one of the first people there. There are so many people out there like that. And Disney marketing, like any other company, knows that you can bilk those early adopters for more money because they're willing to pay more money. They have a rough idea of the size of that audience. So the idea is they want to get as many of these $6,000 two-night bookings as they can until they run out of that audience, until that audience has basically reached capacity. They got to move on to the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. They have a number. Inside Disney somewhere, deep inside the accounting and finance department, there is a number for bookings when it comes to every Disney hotel that says, if this happens, then we do this. And this is the same kind of thing that any hotel would do, any smart business person would do. Disney has some number out there. I don't know what it is. I don't pretend to know what it is, but I promise you there's a number. That when that number is struck, meaning when bookings fall below that certain line, and they start laying under that line, or they continue to decline, that's the trigger for Disney to say, okay, moving on to phase two. Phase two, instead of $6,000 for a two-night stay in a family of four, might be $4,500. Then they're going to get that next phase of people. Well, we're not going to pay $6,000, but we'll pay $45,000. We'll go do that. And on and on and on. And that's how it works. Now, here's the issue. They were supposed to be booked up. They wanted to be booked up for months. They wanted to be booked up for a year at $6,000. I don't know what the figure was in their head, but I promise you they probably had a very long plan to hold prices at that level, probably at least 6 months to a year, I'd bet, of being Disney, to get 2 full summers in at that rate. With the cancellations happening, with the response that's happening, one of two things is going to have to happen. Disney is either going to have to make changes and come up with new promotional material and try to re-wow audiences to get them in initially, or their timetable for dropping their prices on this hotel is going to have to accelerate.
So it looks like right now we are seeing all of that play out. Disney has exhausted the amount of folks out there that they can reasonably count on to pay these exorbitant prices, $4,500, $5,000, $6,000 plus dollars for some of these voyages or these immersive experiences at the Star Wars hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser. And the reason is because, quite frankly, the money just doesn't justify the experience. There's not enough people out there willing to pay that, especially given the content. And we told you in past videos, past live streams on this channel and on other channels that we frequently visit, that it was going to go through a process where we would see prices drop first, or we would see experiences cut, maintaining the same sequel trilogy atmosphere that's on the hotel now, because they frankly have too much money invested in the design and the implementation of that program. But once we reach a point where they cannot fill these voyages to capacity, like we're seeing now, as WDWNT is reporting, that many voyages don't even reach or maybe float right around a 25% capacity. That's just simply not enough to justify the staff and the costs involved in running these programs day after day after day. And this is only a 100-room hotel. It's not like it's that difficult to fill a 100-room hotel in Disney World, unless, of course, it costs $5,000 and $6,000. So now that we're seeing price drops and desperation on the financial side of the Walt Disney Company just to keep this thing afloat, that means we are probably soon to move on to the next phase where they're going to alter the experience. Or it may look something like what Drunk 3PO suggested, where they will do a shortened 4 or 5 hour experience or a dinner theater for a much cheaper price for people to come in and see the main show. I actually kind of like that idea. Now, whether Disney is going to go down that road is a different question. But one of the things that definitely would bring more people in and reinvigorate traffic would be a change in the programming. They're using the least popular era of Star Wars in that hotel, and that is the sequel trilogy. We know that has limited appeal because it didn't take Galaxy's Edge very long to effectively eliminate nearly all of the sequel trilogy merchandise, which once was all you could find in the shops in Galaxy's Edge. It's since been replaced with OG Star Wars, or it's been replaced with Grogu and Mandoverse Star Wars. That's what sells, and even that, as we've reported previously, is having a little bit more trouble these days due to lack of content recently. But Mando Season 3 is right around the corner, and I'm sure that's going to reinvigorate things. And that leads me to one of the changes that I believe is coming up. Now, this is something that I had kind of hinted at a while back, where I said that, one of the things that Disney could do is make a multiple experience design for this hotel, where one voyage would be original Star Wars, another voyage might be prequel trilogy, another voyage still might be something along the lines of Mando and Grogu. Well, they could offer that 1 month you get this, or 1 weekend you get this, and they alternate these experiences. That would keep people coming back to try the different storylines in the hotel without having to make any real major changes physically to the hotel itself. They could work around that. But one of the things that we hear coming up, and this is from a source that came to WDW Pro, and that is that while Grogu and Mando have appeared in Disneyland out in California, they have yet to appear inside of the Walt Disney World theme park in Orlando. And that may be because they're going to go behind a paywall at the Star Wars Hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser. So in other words, if you want to be an early adopter and you want to get to be one of the first people to see Mando and Grogu in Walt Disney World, you're probably going to have to pay a hefty price to go see them exclusively inside the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience. Now, again, eventually, once they exhaust things with that, once they exhaust a $5,000 price tag for that experience, they might make it cheaper and cheaper until they reach a level of parity with the remaining audience out there in terms of how many people they can get to consistently come in to get to a 75+% capacity for each and every voyage. I think that's probably close to the number that they would like to have on average for sure. But eventually, once they've exhausted that, I think that's when you'll finally see, and we're talking many years down the road, I would think, before you see Mando and Grogu in the parks. Again, this is just my guess, and it's a guess that Pro has confirmed, or at least through a source of his, And I think even Drunk 3PO may have mentioned this before himself, but I think, again, we're starting to see that come to fruition a little bit sooner than we anticipated even just a year ago. So that's it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. It's been great to see everybody. Make sure you've hit that like button. And once again, until next time, take care.